A blizzard had snowed us in at the mountain resort. When I came out of the restroom, both the car and my girlfriend were gone. After finally getting a hold of her, she told me it was Leo's birthday, and she had to rush back to celebrate with him. Then she hung up. My wallet and ID were in the car. My phone was about to die. I had no choice but to take shelter from the blizzard in a small ticket booth, where I huddled until my body was frozen stiff. 3 hours later, a kind stranger found me and gave me a ride back to the city. That night, I saw a new post on her childhood friend's social media feed. "Thank you for rushing to my side, so happy." It was a 9-photo collage, and in every single picture, Victoria Waverly was snuggled up against him, her face radiant with a smile as bright as a flower. My heart was perfectly calm. I even gave the post a like. An hour later, I got a call from Victoria. "Come pick me up. I've been drinking and can't drive home." Before I could even protest, she'd already hung up in a hurry. It seemed she had forgotten that just a few hours ago she'd abandoned me in a city I didn't know, completely alone. When Victoria saw I'd arrived, she showed no remorse for leaving me behind. Instead, she frowned, annoyed. "What took you so long? You kept me waiting forever." She shoved the car keys into my hand and then quickly turned to leave again. "And where are you going now?" I asked, raising an eyebrow. "It's Leo's birthday. We're meeting a few friends to go clubbing." Just then, Leo and a group of friends walked out of the restaurant. Leo immediately slung his arm around Victoria's shoulders, and they started laughing and talking together. The next moment, he spotted me by the car but kept his arm right where it was, draped over Victoria. "Sincere, sorry to make you come all the way out here so late. I heard you and Vicky were on vacation in Asheville. I'm so sorry for interrupting your trip. I just can't believe how loyal my Vicky is, coming all this way just to celebrate with me. I feel awful that you were left behind in Asheville all alone." Victoria shot me a glare. "Why are you apologizing to him? He's a grown man. How could he not find his own way back?" "Your birthday only comes once a year," she said to Leo. "Given our relationship, I'd cross oceans to be here for you." Leo looked deeply moved, then turned to me with a guilty expression. "I'm really sorry, Sincere. Vicky has always treated me like family. That's why she's so good to me. Please don't be mad at her." Victoria rolled her eyes. "How I treat you is my business. What right does he have to be angry?" Leo offered a small smile. "As long as Sincere isn't angry, it's all good." I watched them, my expression indifferent. "I'm not angry," I said flatly. "You two go on." 2. After getting home, I showered and was about to go to sleep. My phone wouldn't stop buzzing. I opened it to see a flood of messages from Leo. "Sincere, Vicky is an amazing singer. It's a real shame you're not here to hear her. And she's an incredible dancer, too." He followed up with a series of photos. In them, Victoria, wearing a tank top and a short skirt, struck various dance poses. In several shots, she was pressed right up against Leo. A few other pictures showed them playing the paper passing game, their mouths so close they were almost kissing. They were so intimate you'd think they were the couple. There was a video at the bottom of the feed. Victoria was passionately singing a love song, surrounded by a cheering crowd. Toward the end, I could just make out someone's voice. "Vicky, you're such a great dancer. You must have gone out with your boyfriend all the time, right?" Victoria let out a scornful laugh. "Him? He wouldn't know the first thing about this stuff. He's a total stick in the mud. A real buzzkill, how interesting. In college, I was in the arts club. I could sing, dance, and paint, and I was good at all of it. I used to go out with friends to karaoke bars and clubs all the time. After Victoria and I got together, I suggested taking her to karaoke. She was busy playing a video game at the time and, without even looking up, said that karaoke bars and dance clubs were too seedy and that she'd never go to such tacky places. The next morning, Victoria stumbled home, reeking of alcohol, and immediately collapsed into bed. I quietly ate my breakfast and left for work. Around noon, Victoria began bombarding my phone with calls. When I didn't answer, she sent voice messages. When I still didn't reply, she started sending long-winded texts complete with angry emojis. "Where are you? Why didn't you make me honey water? I was drinking all night. My head is killing me. And breakfast? Don't you know a hangover makes your stomach upset? Why didn't you make me some porridge? Sincere, what's your problem now? Why aren't you answering my calls? And after Leo told me I should hurry back to you. Are you giving me the silent treatment? You can't possibly be angry, can you? Don't be so petty. Leo is way more generous than you. Are you serious? You're an adult. Stop being so childish. Leo is my childhood friend. What's wrong with me being nice to him? I drove all day yesterday and was up all night. I feel like death, and you pull this on me. I rolled my eyes. You drove for Leo. You stayed up all night for Leo. What does any of that have to do with me? I set her chat to do not disturb and took my printed application for a work transfer to my boss for his signature. 3. That evening, as I was leaving the office, I opened my phone to see my screen almost completely filled with messages from Victoria. I skimmed a few. They were all long, angry rants accompanied by furious emojis. Sincere, are you insane? Not answering my calls, not replying to my texts. Are you done with your tantrum yet? Are you really going to hold a grudge over something so small? What time is it? You're not back to cook? You didn't even order me takeout? Are you trying to starve me to death? If you don't say something, you can just stay out tonight. Sincere, if you don't reply to this message, we're breaking up. As I stepped out of the building, I realized a heavy rain had started to fall. I walked toward the parking lot, only to find the spot where the car should have been was empty. I searched the entire lot in the pouring rain, and after confirming it was gone, I knew one thing for sure. Victoria had taken it. Worried about her having to squeeze onto crowded buses and subways in the rain and snow, I'd used all my savings to buy a car for her. Of course, I had my own set of keys, but her office was far away, so she drove it most of the time. I remember the day we picked it up. There was a huge blizzard, and I couldn't get a cab. I had to walk to her office to find her, thinking we could drive home together and celebrate. But she was long gone. When I called to ask, she said impatiently that she was busy and told me to figure out my own way home. That day, I caught a cold from being out in the freezing weather. As I lay in bed with a fever, I saw a post on Leo's social media. I can't believe the first person to ever give me a ride in the passenger seat of their new car is my dear Vicky. I'm so lucky to be the one you dote on. The photo showed Victoria driving, her smile as gentle as water, looking absolutely ecstatic. That was the first time Victoria and I had a major fight. Her boyfriend was sick with a fever, yet she was driving the car her boyfriend bought to have a joyous little date with another man. But Victoria was full of justifications, calling me petty and thin-skinned for making a big deal out of nothing. I was completely speechless. We gave each other the cold shoulder for days, but then my company needed to send me to Asheville for an important conference. I thought we couldn't stay angry forever, so I took my annual leave and brought her along. I had just finished my work and was finally free to show her around, but she ended up abandoning me. 4. I watched my colleagues leave one by one. I called Victoria. The first time she didn't pick up. The second time she didn't either. She always did this intentionally, ignoring my calls, only to answer after I'd called several times. On the 6th try, Victoria answered, her voice sharp. So you finally remembered to call me? I'm telling you, Sincere, if you don't give me a proper apology this time, you can forget about me forgiving you. I cut her off. Where is my car? I drove it, obviously. You're not working today. Why did you take it? It's pouring rain. Leo said he couldn't get a cab, so I had to go pick him up. Then how am I supposed to get home? Victoria was extremely impatient. Oh, honestly, how can't you get home? Do you have to call and ask me about every little thing? All right, I'm almost there. I can't talk anymore. She hung up as soon as she finished. Leo's office was at least 20 miles from here. In this rain, it would take at least an hour to drive there. But she said she was almost there, which meant she must have left an hour ago. I remembered a time it was lightly raining, and I asked her to pick me up. She said the traffic was bad and told me to just take the subway. I ended up walking home in the rain while she lounged on the sofa playing video games. A moment later, I saw a new post on Leo's feed. Through wind and rain, nothing compares to my sister crossing mountains and rivers to bring me a hot boba tea, all just to drive me home. I wanted to throw up. The accompanying picture was of a perfectly made-up Victoria, holding a cup from some trendy boba shop. I had clearly underestimated the situation. An hour was an understatement. It always took her an hour just for makeup. Add to that the extra 6 miles she'd have to drive, and the half-hour wait in line for that viral boba tea. She must have started preparing at least 3 hours ago. I couldn't be bothered with them anymore and decided to take the subway. Just then, I got a message from my boss, Mr. Henderson. He said my transfer application had been approved. I could start as the general manager at the overseas branch next week. Double the salary, and a company-provided apartment. With my skills, I could have transferred to a branch office long ago. I'd always turned it down because of Victoria. Good thing I've finally wised up. At that moment, the rain stopped and the sun broke through the clouds. Everything was falling into place. 5. Returning to the empty apartment, I couldn't help but feel a little sentimental. Even though it was a rental, it had become a home to me. Throughout our relationship, I had treated every holiday seriously, preparing gifts I knew she'd like. But eventually, she stopped showing any excitement, her attention always on her games. I thought maybe she was upset that I didn't understand gaming. So despite never being a gamer, I started learning about the fantasy RPG she was playing. I planned to join her world, become her in-game partner, and give her a surprise. Instead, I discovered she already had a partner in the game. The two of them had completed every single couple's quest, and that person was, of course, her childhood friend Leo. When I confronted Victoria with a screenshot of the game, she showed no guilt whatsoever. She even had the audacity to scold me. "It's just a game. It doesn't mean anything. He's my childhood friend. We grew up together. He moved here from out of town to be near me, so what's wrong with me taking extra care of him? I never realized you were so petty. What kind of person in a relationship carries on a flirty, ambiguous relationship with someone else in a game?" What's more, Victoria treated Leo with more care than she ever showed me, her actual boyfriend. Not only did they chat and dote on each other late into the night every day, but when he had a minor cold, she went over to his place and took care of him all night. When Leo sprained his ankle and couldn't move easily, she not only helped him change his clothes, but also offered to help him bathe when I was in the hospital. Unconscious with a high fever, she was off making a special homemade lunch for Leo, all because he'd posted on social media about how he envied people who got them. But Victoria had never cooked before. In all the time we were together, I was the one who did all the cooking. When she suddenly started learning, I was thrilled, thinking she was doing it for me. It turned out I was just being sentimental. Only now do I realize how stupid I was back then. How did I ever believe Victoria was just a girl who didn't understand boundaries? The truth was, she simply didn't love me anymore. Thankfully, it's not too late for me to wake up. My work visa would be processed soon. I wouldn't need to take much with me for the move overseas. I packed my important documents and a few changes of clothes. The rest I would ship back to my parents' house. As for all the gifts Victoria had given me, the ones I had cherished too much to even touch, I didn't take a single one. Victoria never noticed, because she simply didn't care. 6. On the weekend, Victoria said her company was having a dinner party and she wouldn't be home. I didn't think much of it. But that evening, I got a call from her colleague. She asked me to come, explaining that it was a +1 event. If I didn't show up, it would look bad for Victoria. Besides, she said she needed my help with something. Victoria's colleague, Chloe Miller, was my junior from university. She was a sort of matchmaker for Victoria and me. And since she said she needed help, I agreed to go. Just as I stepped out of the taxi, I saw Victoria getting out of the car I bought for her, arm in arm with Leo, as they walked into the restaurant. Fantastic. It's one thing not to tell me I was supposed to bring a date, but it turns out she already had another one. Just then, Chloe sent me a text. "Sincere, what's going on? Why did your girlfriend bring another guy?" Chloe sent me a video. Inside, Victoria was attentively getting a bowl and chopsticks for Leo. Someone asked her who he was. "Why didn't you bring your boyfriend?" Victoria, busy putting food on Leo's plate, answered dismissively. "He wouldn't want to come here. He's so petty and fussy, always making a big deal out of everything. Bringing him would just be a buzzkill." "This is my little brother," she announced. "He moved here from far away to be with me. I hope you'll all look after him." Leo introduced himself breezily. "Hi everyone, I'm Leo Green. It's a pleasure to meet you all." I was about to leave, but hearing Victoria so casually slander me in front of her colleagues, I walked to the door of the private room. The door was ajar, and I could hear a few women teasing Victoria. "Vicky, you have to admit your little brother is really thoughtful." "Yeah, and so handsome too. He's like one of those innocent puppy dog types right out of a novel." Victoria beamed with pride. "Of course. Any girl who ends up with Leo would be incredibly happy. Leo is so great, so much better than Sincere. Sincere is just a simp. He has no idea what I really want." I pushed the door open, my eyes locking with Victoria's. She froze for a second, then shot to her feet, her face flushing red. "Who let you come here?" "If I hadn't come, how would I know this is what you say about me behind my back?" I said coldly. Caught red-handed, Victoria didn't know what to say. She just stood there, glaring at me, probably furious that my appearance had made her lose face in front of her colleagues. Leo gently guided Victoria back to her seat, then turned to me. "Sincere, don't misunderstand. Vicky was just joking. We joke around like this all the time, and please don't be angry. Vicky only brought me to the dinner because she knew I was bored at home alone. How about this? I'll apologize to you on her behalf. Please don't be mad." With that, Leo bent down and gave me a deep bow. That set Victoria off. She rounded on me. "Sincere, that's enough. How dare you embarrass Leo and me like this in front of my colleagues? Are you trying to make my life miserable? It was just a few jokes. Are you really that sensitive? Besides, was I wrong when I said you were petty? You're always targeting Leo, how fascinating." I almost laughed at their performance. A master manipulator and a shameless flirt putting on a show together was truly a sight to behold. They were more dramatic than a soap opera. "Don't get me wrong," I said calmly. "I'm not angry at all. Didn't you just say that any girl who ends up with him would be incredibly happy?" I made a gesture of invitation. "Be my guest. Please, do us all a favor and lock it down with him." Victoria was furious. "Sincere, what is that supposed to mean? It means we're breaking up." 7. It took Victoria a moment to process what I'd said. Then a contemptuous smile spread across her face. "Sincere, that's enough. There's a limit to how much drama you can cause. Do you really think you can scare me into forgiving you by threatening to break up?" I said coldly. "I'm not scaring you. Do I need to send you a certified letter? Victoria, we're over." Victoria's face turned crimson. In our relationship, she had always cast herself as the queen. In her mind, if there was going to be a breakup, she would be the one to initiate it, and I, the doormat, would be on my knees begging her to stay. Now that I was the one ending it, her pride couldn't take the blow. "Sincere, have you lost your mind? I'm telling you, if you dare walk out that door today, you can forget about ever getting my forgiveness." I rolled my eyes and without a shred of hesitation turned and walked away. "Then please, by all means, never forgive me." Ignoring the gawking crowd in the private room, I left without a single look back. Outside, the sky was blue, the clouds were white, and the flowers were in bloom. My heart felt incredibly light. It seemed that through one disappointment after another, I had long since lost any desire to cherish this relationship. So, in the moment of letting go, there was no lingering attachment. It was for the best. Life is long, and there would be new horizons for me. Chloe sent me a video. In it, Victoria was ranting about me. A few people, trying to be polite, tried to calm her down, which only made her angrier. "Who does he think he is? He'll be begging me to take him back in less than a day. He's just a simp. He does whatever I tell him to do. He's just throwing a tantrum because he's jealous. I was nice to my little brother. You just watch, he'll come crawling back to apologize. Leo was right beside Victoria, comforting her. My Vicky, don't be angry. You know how Sincere is. He's always like this. He's not worth getting upset over. His green tea nature was on full display. It was summer, and they were both dressed in light clothing, but they were pressed up against each other without a hint of reservation. A colleague prodded them sarcastically, Vicky, you know, it kinda looks like you prefer your little brother. Of course I do. Leo is so much more considerate and understanding than Sincere. Don't you guys like a sweet little brother type? Shameless flirt confirmed. So what are you going to do if Sincere really breaks up with you? Victoria's face stiffened for a moment, but she quickly masked it. He's madly in love with me. He was just putting on an act trying to get a rise out of me, to make me show him how much I care. He will definitely beg me to get back together. Sincere, you did the right thing breaking up with her, Chloe texted, full of indignation. After I watched the video, Leo also sent me a voice message. It was a recording of what Victoria had just said. 3 minutes later, another message from Leo popped up. Sorry, I accidentally hit send. I can't retract it now. It's nothing important, just delete it. 8. When I got home, I immediately packed my bags and moved into the company dormitory. As for the apartment, I had already contacted the landlord to terminate the lease. He would be taking possession of the unit in a week. Whatever happened to Victoria after that had nothing to do with me. For the past 3 years, I had paid the rent and all our living expenses by myself. I had done more than enough. For the next few days, I threw myself into handing over my work responsibilities. Chloe, the junior who had contacted me, had quit her job at Victoria's company. She had asked me if I knew of any suitable positions for her, so I brought her over to my company, and she was the perfect person to take over my role. She was competent, and the handover went smoothly. Without Victoria's constant distractions, my work efficiency skyrocketed. I no longer had to wake up at the crack of dawn to make her breakfast or rack my brain to come up with different meals for lunch and dinner. I didn't have to deal with her endless trivial problems or her inexplicable mood swings, and I certainly didn't have to watch her chat with Leo late into the night or get angry seeing them act all intimate and flirty. But I suppose a green tea boy wouldn't be so annoying if he wasn't, well, a green tea boy. While Victoria was giving me the cold shoulder, Leo started posting non-stop on his social media, on every platform he knew I could see. The content was all about showing off. For example, how Victoria drove him to and from work every day. What special homemade lunch Victoria had made for him now. Where Victoria had taken him this time. The posts were always accompanied by suggestive-looking photos of him and Victoria, including one where she was touching his abs. God, the immaturity of their green tea tactics was just exhausting. One word, annoying. I patiently blocked all of Leo's social media accounts and then sent him one last text. I am begging you, please lock it down with her and don't let her come and ruin my life again. I wish you both happiness. After sending that, I blocked both him and Victoria completely. I didn't expect that the very next day Victoria and Leo would show up at my workplace. She was furious. She laid into me immediately. Sincere, how dare you block me? You're not even coming home. What are you trying to do? And you'd better explain this to me. Victoria pulled out her phone. It showed a picture of me and Chloe having coffee at a cafe. If Leo hadn't told me, I would have never known you were seeing other girls behind my back. I glanced at the photo. We had been exhausted from the work handover yesterday and had just gone for a quick coffee. I couldn't believe Leo had taken a picture and sent it to Victoria. Leo stood behind Victoria, a smug, triumphant look on his face as he watched the drama unfold. Victoria glared at me. Tell me, what's your relationship with her? She's just a friend. What's it to you? I said coldly. You are my boyfriend, I sneered. I seem to recall informing you that we broke up. Besides, you can dote on your little brother, so why can't I care for my little sister? Before Victoria could speak, Leo launched into his green tea speech. Sincere, don't you know how worried Vicky has been about you these past few days? He deliberately emphasized the words past few days and worried. But for the past few days, Victoria had been having the time of her life with him, so happy she could barely find her way home. How could you do this to Vicky? How could you be with another girl behind her back? How could you cheat on her? I cut him off with a cold stare. Who the hell are you? Her boyfriend? Leo's face stiffened. Vicky, I was just standing up for you. How can Sincere talk to me like that? I raised an eyebrow. Didn't I wish you two happiness? What's the matter? Haven't sealed the deal yet? Leo's expression soured even more. Victoria pulled him back. You should go home first. We'll handle this between us. 9. Leo looked at her in disbelief. The triumphant expression he'd been wearing moments ago vanished. He ran off looking utterly wronged. Victoria softened her tone. Sincere, let's talk. There's nothing to talk about. Seeing my bluntness, Victoria exploded again. Sincere, you're being unreasonable. I've already taken the first step and come to you. What more do you want? Whenever we used to fight, you would always come and coax me within a day. Now you've not only moved out, but you've also blocked me. You made me wait for so long. Don't you know how embarrassing that is for me? I stared at her coldly. And you have so much to be proud of. Flirting with another man day in and day out? Victoria smiled smugly. Sincere, I knew it. You're just jealous of me and Leo. Maybe I was once, but not anymore, I said coldly. Victoria, I made myself very clear last time. We're over. Victoria became frantic. You were just angry when you said that. Why are you still holding on to it? We've been together for 3 years. Didn't you say you wouldn't marry anyone but me? Faced with her confident and narcissistic words, my tone remained calm. What is there about you worth me being angry over? Victoria, why don't you take a moment to think about how you've treated Leo versus how you've treated me for the past 2 years? Victoria was struck speechless. She just stared at me blankly. I smiled faintly and continued. For the last 2 years, I've put my heart into preparing gifts for you for every holiday, but you wouldn't even glance at them. Too busy running off to be with Leo. You, who never cooked, learned how just for him. When I was in the hospital unconscious, you were off making him a special homemade lunch. You don't remember my birthday, but you run off to help Leo change his clothes. And give him a bath on a work trip. You abandoned me in a strange city with no money and a dead phone in a downpour. You went out of your way, preparing 3 hours in advance to go pick him up. While leaving me to take the subway, you slander me in front of your colleagues. Is that what you call love? And the list goes on. Do you need me to spell it all out for you? As a girlfriend, you're really one of a kind, aren't you? With every word I spoke, the color drained from Victoria's face. She grabbed my hand, and after a long moment, she managed to force out a sentence. Sincere, I admit I've been neglecting you lately, but I only see Leo as a little brother. You're so generous, can't you just try to understand a little more? Just then, Victoria's phone rang. It was Leo. 10. Victoria glanced at me, then answered the call. Leo's voice, tinged with tears, came through the phone. My Vicky, I'm so sorry. It's all my fault that Sincere misunderstood you. I'm leaving now. I'm going back to my hometown. Victoria immediately panicked. You're leaving? My Vicky, I don't want to make things difficult for you. I'm buying my ticket and leaving now. In the background, the station announcer was broadcasting boarding information. There are no trains back to your hometown at this hour, Victoria said with a frown. It's okay, there are ride shares here. No, Victoria shouted. Those aren't safe. Wait for me. I'm coming to find you right now. Hanging up. Victoria turned to leave, but after a few steps, she looked back at me sheepishly. Sincere, I'm just going to explain things to him. I'm worried he'll do something rash and take one of those unregistered cars home and get into an accident. Do what you want, I said flatly. Victoria's face lit up. Sincere, I knew you wouldn't make a big deal out of it. I'll just go convince him to stay, and I'll be right back. You wait for me here. She practically ran to a taxi and left without a second glance. Watching her receding figure, I knew it was just another empty promise. But since I hadn't eaten dinner yet, I went to a nearby hot pot restaurant. I ordered some food and started eating by myself. To be honest, I was curious to see if Victoria would actually come back. Even though I knew I wouldn't take her back, even if she did, But after all, there was a time when we were genuinely in love. There was a time when Victoria's world revolved around me. On every cold winter day, she would be there to meet me after work, holding a cup of warm milk tea. Then I would wrap my arm around her, and we'd walk home together, laughing and talking the whole way, our warmth warding off the winter chill. We used to pass by this hot pot restaurant all the time, but it was expensive. Back then we had just graduated and didn't have much money. A hot pot meal was a luxury, but every month I would save up some money to bring her here. Victoria once said that was the happiest time of her life. She said she wanted to earn enough money to buy this place so we could eat hot pot here every day. Later I started making more money. We could afford to eat here whenever we wanted, but Victoria was no longer by my side. By the time I finished my meal, the sky had turned completely dark. I had waited for nearly 4 hours and Victoria never showed up. I felt no anticipation, no disappointment. I left the restaurant in a state of perfect calm. Outside, the city was bright with lights, a bustling scene of prosperity. Looking at the city I had lived in for so many years, I could finally say goodbye without any lingering feelings. Just then, my phone received a message from an unknown number. 11. See? One word from me, and my Vicky still dropped you to come find me. You can stop waiting. She's tired from our long walk, so she's taking a shower now. Below the text was a picture. Through a blurry bathroom door, you could make out a vague silhouette, and next to it, half of a king-sized hotel bed was visible. I shook my head with a cold smile. Why does he even bother, I thought. So much drama for nothing. For me, this relationship was completely over. I had no more regrets. But the next day, Victoria still came to my office to find me. I glanced at her clothes. She was buttoned up tight. Even the top button of her shirt, which she never fastened, was done up. Her hair was a mess, and she wore no makeup. She looked like she had rushed over, or maybe she just had a guilty conscience. Sincere, I'm so sorry. I had an emergency yesterday. What kind of emergency? I asked. Victoria couldn't meet my eyes. Her gaze darted around. The company had me work late unexpectedly. I wanted to explain, but you blocked me. I came to find you first thing this morning. Sincere, let's talk this over properly. How about we get married? I cut her off. Couldn't you at least come up with a believable lie? Victoria froze. I took out my phone and showed her the picture Leo had sent me. This was your emergency? Victoria's face went pale. She stammered, Sincere, don't misunderstand. Nothing happened between us. It was just too hot, so I took a shower. That's all, really. You have to believe me. I was about to leave, but then Leo got sick, so I stayed with him. I sneered. And the marks on your neck are a misunderstanding, too? You really have it wrong. I'm allergic to the hotel's body wash. I was afraid you'd overthink it, so I lied. I swear nothing happened between us. It has nothing to do with me anymore, I said flatly. After all, we've already broken up. I showed her Leo's message as well. Your little brother is desperate to take my place. Don't let him down. Leo's not that kind of person. Sincere, you're reading too much into it. He was just trying to keep you in the loop. By the end, even she couldn't keep up the charade. 12. I thought that after all this, Victoria would finally stop hounding me. But, unexpectedly, it was like she'd had a personality transplant. She started using different phone numbers to send me long, essay-like texts. The gist was always the same, that nothing had happened with Leo, and that I had to believe her. I kept blocking her. But when I was leaving work, Victoria was there waiting for me at the entrance. This was a scene that hadn't happened in a very long time. Victoria ran up to me, holding a cup of boba tea. Sincere, can we please just talk this out properly? My colleagues watched with envious looks, gently pushing me toward her. I didn't want to make a scene, so I agreed to leave with her. A short while later, the car pulled up in front of our favorite hot pot restaurant. Victoria grabbed my arm as I was about to walk away. This used to be our favorite place. Don't you remember? I remember. I was just here last night for 4 hours. Victoria dragged me inside, but to my surprise, Leo was there too. I frowned. I really did not want to see him. Sincere, Leo said he wants to explain what happened last night. He doesn't want you to misunderstand us. I'm begging you, just give me a chance to explain. Before I could say a word, Leo piped up. See, my Vicky? I told you, if you do it the way I taught you, Sincere won't ignore you. When it comes to a man's mind, of course, we men understand each other best. You really are clever, Victoria said with a smile. He turned to me. I just don't want Sincere to misunderstand us. I'm truly sorry, Sincere. I was being immature. I was confused. Please don't hold it against me. There's really nothing going on between me and Vicky. She was going to go back and be with you yesterday, but I caught a cold, so she stayed to take care of me for the night. You have to believe Vicky. She's such a good person. The scene was straight out of a soap opera. Victoria looked at me. Now do you believe me? Leo has been a terrible liar since he was a kid. Now that he's explained it to you, you can stop being angry. Seeing that I wasn't saying anything, Leo put on a guilty expression. Really? Is Sincere really not bothered by it? Victoria said directly, Don't worry, he's the most generous guy I know. Wasn't I the one who was fussy and always harping on about every little thing? I couldn't be bothered to respond. 13. Just then the waiter brought the dishes to the table. I looked at the bubbling red chili oil in the pot, the spicy aroma hitting my nose. I thought you didn't eat spicy food, I said. Leo likes it, Victoria said, putting some food in my bowl. Why aren't you eating? Thanks, but no thanks. I tipped the contents of my bowl back into the pot. I'm allergic to chili peppers. Victoria froze, completely embarrassed. I'm sorry, I wasn't thinking. I'll go ask the waiter to change it to a half-and-half pot. Vicky is just so careless sometimes, Leo said, smiling at me. But when it comes to the things I like, she's never forgotten once. I have to admire you, though. I guess men of a certain age learn to put up with a lot, right? To be honest with you, nothing happened between us yesterday. But she did tell me she likes me. I raised an eyebrow and smiled calmly. If that's the case, how come you haven't sealed the deal yet? I'm guessing you were probably throwing yourself at her all night yesterday, right? What, she wasn't interested? The smile vanished from Leo's face. He looked at me with a mix of anger and resentment. Don't you get cocky, she doesn't even like you anymore. Are you still shamelessly playing the simp? Have you no shame? Excuse me, I said flatly. If she hadn't begged me to come here today, I wouldn't have bothered. Leo, flustered and angry, suddenly scooped up a spoonful of the boiling hot pot broth and poured it onto his own hand. He's got guts, I'll give him that. But my face remained expressionless as I quietly watched him begin his performance. Ah, Leo cried out. Sincere, I've already apologized to you. I'm not trying to get with your girlfriend. If you don't believe me, that's fine. But how could you be so cruel? Victoria was just walking back and saw Leo's face contorted in agony. When she saw his bright red hand, she rushed over, cradling it in her own and blowing on it to cool it down. What happened? Leo looked like he was about to cry, staring at me in terror as if I were some kind of monster. My Vicky, I was just explaining yesterday's situation to Sincere. I promised I wouldn't bother you anymore, but he kept saying I was seducing you. He wouldn't accept my apology. He insulted me, and then Victoria immediately flew into a rage, yelling at me, Sincere, are you insane? Leo already apologized to you, and you're still being like this. Have I been too nice to you? You are unbelievable. Apologize to Leo right now. Many people in the restaurant were already recording with their phones. I knew that if this video got online, it would be twisted into who knows what kind of story. I was about to move abroad. I didn't want any trouble. Victoria was still screaming at me. Sincere, are you deaf? I told you to apologize to Leo. I leaned back in my chair, calmly observing the green tea boy and the shameless flirt. Hey, look over there. A 360-degree, no blind spot security camera. Want to sit down and watch the replay together? The moment Leo heard that, he panicked. No, never mind. I'm fine. He doesn't need to apologize. I'm sorry for disturbing everyone. Victoria shot him another concerned look, then turned to me with a cold glare. Sincere, look how forgiving Leo is. You have disappointed me so much. Someone at a nearby table chimed in, siding with her. Throwing hot soup on someone is just too much. Look how badly he burned him, and he won't even apologize. Someone should record this and post it online. Exactly, he has no shame. But there were others who spoke up for me. Let's just check the security footage. We shouldn't rush to judgment. This is like a scene from a soap opera. There's got to be a plot twist. I'm so excited for this dramatic showdown, kid. You really do watch too many soap operas. I gave her a grateful smile. Just then, the restaurant staff projected the security footage onto the large screen, and there it was. The truth was out. Leo's face turned crimson with shame and rage. 14. I walked out of the hot pot restaurant. Victoria chased after me. Sincere, I misunderstood you. I'm sorry. I apologize. I was wrong to blame you. Will you forgive me? I snorted. I've already terminated the lease on the apartment. I've sold the car. We're done. From now on, you can have all the two-person dates with your little brother that you want. Tears streamed down her face. Sincere, I was really wrong. Please forgive me. I promise you I'll keep my distance from Leo from now on. I won't let him bother you again. Let's go back to how things were and live a good life together. I looked at her coolly. Victoria, why bother? You can't even keep up the act for 3 minutes. You didn't even wait to see the truth. You just heard a few words from him and immediately started doubting and blaming me. If there hadn't been a camera, would you have believed me? Victoria was speechless. She stared at me silently, unable to say a word. I shook her hand off my arm and walked away without looking back. A clap of thunder roared, and it started to rain again. I walked back to my company dorm. When I got upstairs, I saw that Victoria was still standing there. The rain was coming down harder now, and her figure looked fragile and thin. It seemed like she was waiting for me to turn back. Leo ran out with an umbrella for her. I couldn't hear what they were saying. She shoved him away and crouched down on the ground, sobbing. Leo stood beside her, looking dejected. In the past, if I had seen her like this, my heart would have softened instantly. But now, I felt nothing. I was even impressed with myself. Perhaps the past hurts had cut so deep that my heart had gone numb. After all, the girl before me was someone I had once loved deeply. But belated affection is cheaper than grass. What's missed is missed. It's too late to try and cherish it now. Perhaps Victoria still had feelings for me, but her approach to our relationship was just like her name suggested. Waverly, always looking left and right, wavering and uncertain. I don't know when she finally left. The next day, on my way to the airport, I looked at the novel-length text message that had come from an unknown number. It was all from Victoria, begging for my forgiveness. I was silent for a long time, then replied with just 2 words, farewell for good. Then I blocked the number and got a new SIM card. 15. The plane landed 7 hours later. I received a text from Chloe. She said Victoria had come looking for me again. She still didn't know I was gone. She also said that when the landlord came to take back the apartment, Victoria had refused to move out and had insisted on renting it herself. She said it was the home we had shared for 3 years. Many people were praising her for her devotion. What a shame she's such a poor judge of character. I looked up at the bright blue sky and the towering buildings before me, and I smiled. My new life was beginning, right at this moment.